بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Mudaf and Mudaf Ilayh. So now we're going to learn about different cases of Mudaf. Till now, you only saw Mudaf with Rafa status, right? Like Nurus Samawati, the Nur had Rafa, right? Abdullahi, Abd has Rafa on it, right? So now we're going to see if does a Mudaf can have a Fatha or Kasra as well or not, right? So we'll see that. So now let's start with this. Make Mudaf and Mudaf Ilayh using the following ism. So we have two isms like Qalamun and Hamidun. So Qalamun means a pen, Hamid means Hamid. Now we have to make this construction. Hamid's pen. Now there is no off. But remember I told you that if you don't see an off in between, you can easily rearrange it. So I can easily make it pen of Hamid. Right? So Qalamun will become Qalamu. Why? Because Mudaf is light and there is no al. And Hamidun should be in jar status. Why? Because Hamid is a mudafun ilayhi in this after off is mudafun ilayhi and mudafun ilayhi is in jar status. So qalamu Hamidin this is in Arabic. So Hamid's pen or pen of Hamid will be translated in Arabic. It would be qalamu Hamidin. All right. So now again we saw that mudaf has a rafa status, but it's possible that this qalamu can be qalama. It's possible. And it can be qalami as well. It's possible because for mudaf there was no such rule that mudaf will always be in rafa status. There was no rule. There was a rule for mudafun ilayhi that it will be in jar status. So mudafun ilayhi must be in jar status, but there was no rule for mudaf that it can only be in rafa, right? So mudaf can be in rafa status, it can be in nasab status, or it can be in jar status. So that means like mudaf can have a dhamma on it in rafa status, right? Or mudaf can have a nasab status like with fatha, or mudaf can have a kasra in jar status. So it's possible. So there all these three cases are possible. Like qalamu hamidin is also possible. Qalama hamidin is also possible. Qalami hamidin is also possible. It depends upon the status, right? Like what status that mudaf right now playing. So make mudaf and mudafun ilayh using the following ism. So now we have kitabun and al mudarrisu. So book of the teacher. Mudarris teacher, kitab book. So mudaf is book. So book should be or kitabun should be light. So drop the tanween. Kitabun would become kitab. And there is no. So that's good. The second rule is already fulfilled. And al mudarrisu is we have to make it mudafun ilayhi. So mudafun ilayhi must be in jar status. So al mudarrisu will become
Al-Mudarrisi.
al-Mudarrisi. So Kitabul Mudarrisi or Kitabu al-Mudarrisi. You can read anyway in any form. All right. So that's the mudafun alayhi. Again, same thing. That kitabu can be kitaba, kitabu can be kitabi as well. Because for mudaf, there is no such rule that it will always be in rafa status. It can be in nasab status. It can be in jar status. So same thing as in previous slide. So now let's see when mudaf takes a kasra, right? So like as we saw here, right? So kitabi. So when does a mudaf take kasra? So again, same thing. Baitullahi, baitun and Allah. They are two isim. So we convert them into mudafun ilayhi like baitu Allahi. We drop the tanween and then we put kasra to make in jar status. Lafz jalala. So baitullahi, right? So if we have this like fi baitullahi. Right? If there is a fee coming, so fee means basically in. So we haven't learned it, but fee means in, and it is called harf jar. This is a harf, so we'll learn it. We'll learn it later. Harf something happening here. Harf jar. So whenever, so I think there's a mistake. If fee is there, then it will be kasra in there. So whenever, so there's a handful of words are called harf, and they're about 11 mainly or most recurring. So if any harf of jar or harf jar comes before an ism, as the name says, these are harf jar. So they what do they do? They convert an ism into jar status. So we'll learn them in future. But here, because we were learning about mudaf, that when can mudaf take a kasra? So mudaf can take a kasra when there is a harf jar coming before it. Because harf jar, or there are some handful of words, those are called harf jar. And what they do, when they come before an ism, they convert that ism into jar status. So let's say I say Baitullahi. So right now we know that we learned this already, right? Baitullahi, house of Allah. But if I want to say in the house of Allah, right? In the house of Allah. So in means fi. So I'm gonna put fi in there, right? I'm gonna put fi there. So fi bait. I'm not putting any harkat on it right now, but let's say fi bait Allahi, in the house of Allah. So whenever the preposition in English we say in preposition, right? But in Arabic we say harf jar. So fi is a preposition. So whenever a preposition, or you can say harf jar, comes before an ism in Arabic, what we do, that harf jar convert that ism into jar status. So now it will not be called Baitullahi anymore, because a harf jar coming before it. So fi Baitillahi, in the house of Allah. So that's how you see the mudaf now is coming with a kasra. All right. So it's possible, right? So it's possible. A mudaf can be in having a kasra, or it can have fatha as well, like we haven't learned yet. But it can also take fatha as well in some cases. But for kasra, that's only one case, because fatha may have many different cases. So I don't want to cover it now. But a mudaf take kasra when there is only one case. When before mudaf there is a harf jar. Now let's see an example from Quran. Bismillahi. All right. So if you see, basically, so the B is also a harf jar. Okay. Same like fi, right? We learned fi. So fi means mostly in. B is also a harf jar. It also means with, but sometimes it also say in as well, like in the name of Allah, or with the name of Allah, right? So here B is also a harf jar. So technically this, and then when B is joined with a word that has alif in there, so alif get dropped. So technically it was ism. But now we are joining ba with this, so the alif got dropped, so it becomes bism. Okay, so Bismillahi, in the name of Allah, right? So you see off in between, right? Or with the name of Allah, or in the name of Allah. So same thing is happening. So technically, if there is no B is there, so it should be Ismullahi, name of Allah, right? Ismullahi, name of Allah. But as we are putting a harf jar, B is also a harf jar, same as fi. So that mudaf now will not gonna take any dhamma. It will be in jar status. It will take kasra now, because harf jar convert an isim into jar status, and jar isim in jar status take kasra. So now when you put ba with there, so now you're gonna say Bismillah. All right. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.